In the aftermath of the April 9th tornado, we all took away something we'll have forever.
Whether that be pain, photos, memories, or even relationships.
Meteorologist Morgan Kochmeyer joins us now to introduce us to a story of an unlikely friendship between a photographer and a tornado survivor. Morgan?
Sean and Kristen, it was a chance meeting between Eric Anderson, whose photos you just saw, and a man named Earl. Eric thought he was headed to Fairdale to take pictures. Earl was in the process of picking up after he lost everything in a tornado. Little did they both know, a lasting bond was about to be formed. From courtside local basketball, a bride on her big day, and a senior in high school, to leveled homes, scattered precious mementos, and the path of an EF4 tornado.
It was just an unreal experience.
Eric Anderson is a local photographer and set out to take photos after the April 9th tornadoes last year.
I'm running just with all of my gear, and it feels like it's sort of like an end-of-the-world experience.
The photographer, who thought he was going toward Fairdale to photograph damage, left seeing a much bigger picture.
And then that's when I met Earl.
Earl's home once sat a few miles southwest of Fairdale.
And the first place I opened was the door to the kitchen. And I walked in there, and it was the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life because there's no roof. There was everything you could ever imagine that in everybody else's kitchen, just all over the place.
Step by step, snap by snap, Eric carefully made his way through what was left of Earl's home.
It was weird because there was a chair sitting there, and I imagine taking these photos with these people just sitting there living their everyday lives, and there was just debris all over. It was insane.
But during the hours of time spent on the gravel road home, between the toppled pine trees and shattered glass, there was a sense of stillness.
He was the most calm you should be in an extreme circumstance. It was sort of a realistic moment that I was able to connect with him at the end there before I left.
Does that surprise you, or?
I guess so, because you don't have a chance to rehearse nothing like that. That's your first reaction, because I didn't think it could ever this bad to start with. I was wrong.
Earl and his wife Bonnie lived in their home for 48 years, and where tall pine trees and a barn filled with sheep once sat.
And it was all level, and there was a windmill over the well. It was laying on top of the roof of the house.
Sat a pile of crumbled walls and broken shingles.
We probably would have been in the kitchen. A lot of things moved in the kitchen.
The couple credits two friends for their safety that night who ran outside and saw the tornado only minutes before they took shelter.
I started praying because that's what I do.
Those minutes did more damage than they could have imagined.
Ventured up the stairway to see if we could get up the stairway, and when he tried to swing the doorway, there was all kinds of glass and stuff. The whole floor was covered with stuff. And I looked around, and I didn't see anything standing anywhere outside. The garage was gone. It was just a total mess.
Bonnie was in a neck brace after just breaking her vertebrae, while Earl started picking up the pieces.
Everybody just showed up.
He wasn't alone for long. The streets were littered with people, from family and friends to acquaintances and strangers, all coming to lend a helping hand.
We're very lucky.
And with a few mementos and photographs saved.
Whenever I hear anything with tornado watch, warning, anything with the word tornado, tornadic, I always think of Earl.
Earl and Bonnie built their new home on the same land, carefully placing scriptures in the walls during construction.
It's good. It's good to be back home, and I like the house. And yeah, it's nice to be back where we have been for a long time.
Earl and Bonnie celebrated their 48-year wedding anniversary in a camper. This year, they plan to celebrate 49 years in their new home. Sean and Kristen, back to you.
Thank you, Morgan. For many, springtime is a time for rebirth and for new growth.
There's nothing truer than